So I want you to be now super uncomfortable and watch this video of an interaction between him and none other than Diddy. Take a listen.
Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. He signed to Usher.
He signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
We're going crazy.
So young Justin Bieber, who was signed by Usher, involved with Scooter Braun, now all of a sudden he's being put in the hands of Diddy, who, it is true, he became the legal guardian for Usher. You can look up all of the allegations of what Diddy did to Usher. A lot of this coming out via multiple lawsuits that essentially, if we were to put it in a nice context, or at least use a euphemism for something that's really disgusting, the allegations are essentially that Diddy very much initiated Usher into Hollywood.
Diddy bought his son a Bentley. Maybe, he could buy you one also while you're out.
He got me a Lamborghini.
That's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I know. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last time.
He had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
The studio lights were bright, but the energy was darker, heavier, more intense. Candace Owens and Megyn Kelly sat across from each other, their expressions sharp and unflinching, completely serious. Both women were outraged, and they weren't holding back at all. The target of their fury did Sam Bieber's heartbreaking confession about what he endured when he was just 15 years old, a painful truth. Candace opened with fire. "I'm furious," she said flatly, her voice cutting through the silence, strong and direct. What Sean Combs did wasn't mentorship. It wasn't guidance. It was pure control. No man has the right to drag a kid into his world like that and strip him of his freedom. Her words set the tone for what would be one of the most blistering, emotional takedowns of Diddy's career.
We had seen these videos of Justin Bieber being handed over to him at age 15. Great job. Great job. For his weekend with Diddy camp. I mean, we don't know, but it certainly looks like Justin Bieber is still suffering the fallout from whatever happened to him as he was coming up the ranks of the music world. It really doesn't seem worth it. I mean, I'd love to hear more from his camp about what's real, because it's clear he's suffering. We just don't know from what, and what mother out there would give her 15-year-old boy over to a grown man who's in the rap industry for a weekend with Diddy camp without other adult supervision.
Unearthing videos of Justin Bieber at Diddy parties. Now, Justin Bieber was obviously extremely young when he entered the industry, extremely innocent when he entered the industry, an industry that he did not quite understand as a boy who just knew how to sing and play the guitar and just did both of those things on YouTube. Then he was scooped up, and suddenly he was a part of people like Diddy going after him and saying, "Hey man, why don't you pick up my phone calls?" There's actually a video of that. Diddy and Justin Bieber looks to be like 15 years old and said, "Why aren't you picking up my phone calls?" And he's like, "Oh, I know you were trying to contact me through people and I don't have your number." And the next thing we know, Justin is at Diddy's parties.
What's up, man? You good?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, young brother, everything's good?
Everything's
Selling
great.
out arenas and everything? Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But you never really got my number, so.
Right. Okay.
My number?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you my number.
Yeah.
Candace Owens has built her reputation on being fearless in the face of uncomfortable truths, bold and unapologetic. And when she turned her attention to Sean Combs, her fury was unrestrained and intense. She reminded viewers that Justin Bieber was a child at the time, an immensely talented kid from Canada who uploaded songs on YouTube discovered by Scooter Braun and signed by Usher. His life changed overnight, suddenly and dramatically. He should have been surrounded by protectors, people who made sure he could navigate fame safely and securely. Instead, he was placed in the orbit of Diddy, a man whose reputation was already questionable and controversial.
He did an interview back in 2020 with Zane Lowe. I think this was on Apple Music. And he was speaking about another young artist that was coming up, Billie Eilish, and Eilish. And he was basically speaking about how he wanted to protect her because she was now another young person, a rising artist in the industry. And sort of out of nowhere, he became quite overcome with emotion. Take a listen.
Did you feel protective of her?
Yeah, I definitely feel protective of her. It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second. So yeah, it's hard because I want her to know that, she can count on me. But at the end of the day, I'm never going to force myself to be in a relationship with her. It has to be natural, right? So I just kind of, let her do her thing. And if she ever needs me, I'm going to be here for her. But yeah, just protecting those moments because people take for granted encounters and yeah. So, yeah. I just want to protect her, I don't want her to lose it. I don't want her to, go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody. So, yeah, if she ever needs me, I'm just a call away.
I'm not even kidding. Watching that clip makes me emotional because he is saying so much without really saying anything. And in this one video, it looks like whatever Justin is doing, I'm not going to show it out of just respect for the fact that I truly believe that Justin Bieber is a victim. But whatever he is doing in this video with Trey Songz and Odell Beckham Jr. looks highly suspicious. I can show you a still from that video because I think the relevant part is Justin Bieber is not sober. He is clearly very heavily under the influence at this party. And if you remember that lawsuit that the producer Rodney dropped against Diddy, he said that unbeknownst to all of these people, they were being drugged at Diddy's parties, that they were pouring out the liquor bottles and replacing it with other drugs.
Megyn Kelly nodded, her voice steady, but seething with anger, full of intensity. Let's stop pretending. Sean Combs didn't build his empire by lifting people up. He built it by manipulating them. Justin Bieber's confession proves it. He was isolated, pressured, and made to feel like he had no way out. That's not mentorship. That's exploitation. Together, Candace Owens and Kelly dismantled the carefully constructed image Diddy had sold for decades, piece by piece. Candace pulled out Bieber's handwritten notes where the young pop star begged to go home, overwhelmed by the relentless pressure and stress. "Read this," she said sharply, firmly. "That's not a superstar speaking. That's a child begging for help." Megyn shook her head in disgust, visibly upset. And all the while, the industry rewarded Diddy with trophies and sponsorships. They celebrated him while Justin was quietly falling apart, she added.
Justin Bieber was very young when he came into Diddy's circle. And that tape you referenced of the two of them about to spend 48 hours together or having just was disturbing. And there's no question he had a lot of exposure to this guy. And I think he should say something.
Diddy was not at the top of the ring, okay? And it sounded like it was a Fed operation. And so it was a show trial because the Feds are never going to reveal the Feds that are in control of an operation. And the minute that they did not bring Christina Karam, the involvement that this woman have, apparently it's like having a Jeffrey Epstein trial and not like a public Jeffrey Epstein trial and not mentioning or bringing up Ghislaine Maxwell. Like, that's how you know it was a show trial. So this whole fake, oh my God, I can't believe he got away with it. Of course he got away with it. This was a Fed operation. That is my viewpoint. I am never going to change it. I think he's the Jeffrey Epstein of the hip hop world. He was doing what he was supposed to do and what he was told to do. And we're never going to get any information because now everyone's gotten their show trial and there are people on the streets that are pouring baby oil on top of themselves. I'm not kidding. His fans and supporters as a show of support. It's disgusting. I'm laughing at just the state of humanity today because women are in the streets throwing baby oil on themselves, excited that he is found not guilty on the bigger charges. And I'm maybe asking for a reset. We just need to reset on humanity, just kind of, back to the factory settings here.
You may have heard that Sean Diddy Combs was acquitted of the most serious charges against him. He was found guilty of transportation to engage in prostitution. Now the two sides are arguing over how much time that should get him in prison. He was denied his request to remain free pending sentencing, which happens on October 2nd, I think. He was smug and right back to his entitled self in court yesterday evening, demanding to speak to the judge personally when he gathered that he wasn't going to be allowed to remain free. Because earlier, once he had been acquitted of those serious charges and found guilty on the least serious, I mean, it's not a walk in the park, the time that you'd have to do on the prostitution counts, but it's way lighter than he would have gotten. He was super jubilant. He was allowed by this court to get down on his knees in the middle of the courtroom and pray to God, thank God. He's a God-fearing man. He's super faithful. In between beatings of the girlfriends he's with, he loves to beat them to a pulp and then pray to his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. That's how it works. So he, at that point in the trial proceedings, was like, the judge made some stupid, inappropriate joke about how I'm sure you'd love to leave the detention center, Mr. Combs. And inappropriate in tone and comment and substance. And Diddy was like, yes, he put his hands together like, oh yes, laughing with his hands, like praying, please do that for me, judge. Give me a break. I threw up in my mouth. And then by the time they got back at 5 o'clock to actually issue a ruling on whether he could stay free, the judge, who was a newbie, had apparently spoke with some more seasoned judges on the bench in SDNY and said, get your ass back to prison. And at that point, Diddy reportedly looked stunned and forlorn, and his newfound hubris walked out the door with him because he was like, I just need to speak to the judge directly. He's convinced he's Diddy. He can charm his way out of anything.
Then came the infamous video footage, widely shared. Justin Bieber, guitar in hand, walking nervously through a hallway at 3:12 a.m., flanked by assistants, Candace Owens' voice dripped with outrage, sharp and emotional. This isn't a kid living the dream. This is a kid being treated like property. Megyn Kelly leaned in, her eyes narrowed, visibly intense. You can see it in his face. He's not happy. He's not free. He's exhausted. He's afraid. And yet, Sean Combs paraded this as if it were proof of his mentorship. It's disgraceful. The two women then turned their sights on the industry at large, shifting focus. Candace demanded accountability from the celebrities who had once praised Diddy. Where are they now? She snapped, angrily. All those stars who bragged about being his friends, who called him a genius, they're silent. They knew and they stayed quiet. Megyn followed up, her words sharp as a blade, cutting deep. The silence isn't protection, it's guilt. And every single person who looked away is just as responsible. For over 2 hours, Owens and Kelly shredded Diddy's empire, exposing it not as genius, but as a house of cards built on exploitation and control. Their anger spread quickly, lighting up social media, sparking hashtags, and forcing sponsors to cut ties with him in real time, rapidly. Candace delivered one of the most scathing lines of the night, powerfully. This is the end of Diddy. No amount of money, no amount of fame, no amount of spin can protect him from the truth anymore. Megyn closed with the final strike, firmly. His empire was built on silence, but that silence has been broken. And now there's no going back.
Because I think if a victim comes out against Usher, it'll show how egregious it is. Because if he can be a predator, then anybody can be a predator.
Can't smile in your face the whole time.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, people look at Usher, they don't see that. They're not seeing the victim. They're not seeing that boy that got rushed to the hospital. They're not seeing what the intentions was in his heart when he took Justin Bieber there.
Oh.
Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there. Diddy had been trying to get to Bieber for a minute. and his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours. Think about that.
What's up, man? You good?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, young brother, everything's good?
Everything's
Selling
great.
out arenas and everything?
Yeah.
Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
Correct. Okay.
My number?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you my number.
Yeah.
So what's going on with you guys? Are you working together?
I'm not. I mean, I think that we've become friends in a strange way, you know.
Like Robin Big.
Yeah. It's like exactly.
I'm big and you're Robin.
Yeah. No, I mean, he's. To a lot of us, he's like a little brother. You know what I'm saying? He's not afraid to call and ask for advice. He's somebody that, in the industry-wise, the record industry is a strong family, and he's somebody that, we definitely have our arms around, and we want to protect him because he's such genuinely a nice person. Besides his talent, you know what I'm saying? He's one of the greatest kids that you could ever.
As the discussion deepened, Candace Owens and Megyn Kelly turned their attention to the corporate boardrooms that propped Sean Combs up for so long, consistently. Follow the money, Candace said with a sharp edge, firmly. The brands that signed deals with him, the networks that gave him airtime, the labels that pushed his music, they all knew, deep down. They had the resources, the lawyers, the investigators. You don't move in this industry without people digging into your past. They knew, and they chose profit over protection deliberately. Megyn nodded, her voice rising with intensity, strongly. Exactly. And what makes it worse is that these corporations pretended to be champions of young talent, publicly. They marketed themselves as supportive of artists, yet behind the scenes they gave Diddy free rein, unchecked. If Justin Bieber, one of the biggest stars in the world, wasn't protected, then who was? The answer is no one, clearly. They sacrificed kids for money, plain and simple, brutally. The conversation turned to the media's double standards, quickly. Candace pointed out how Bieber was mocked during his public breakdowns, with tabloids painting him as spoiled or immature, unfairly. The media fed off his pain, continuously. She said they made millions by exploiting his struggles, shamelessly. But now we know those breakdowns weren't random. They were symptoms of what he endured under Diddy over time. The media didn't just fail Justin. They profited off his suffering, heavily. Megyn leaned in, her tone sharp and cold, direct. And here's the irony. The same outlets that tore Justin apart are the ones now pretending to be shocked by Diddy's downfall. It's hypocrisy at its finest. They were complicit, and they don't get to rewrite history now.
I did not realize that you can quite literally draw a direct line from Prince to Michael Jackson to Ye, and then now to Justin Bieber and the things that they have been saying.
I just want to, talk about this thing and see if we can't make it more fair. Of course, they wouldn't change, because if they changed, they wouldn't really exist.
There's a disintegration going on that we really have to address. Our values have been lessened to a great degree. People can say all they want to, that there's no reason for these kids to listen to music and then go shoot somebody. But, there's something that's triggering these buttons.
Record companies really, really do conspire against their artists. They steal, they cheat, they do whatever they can.
We can't just say, oh, it's okay for people to super complicate deals and to collude on deals and to not look at us as human beings, as artists and athletes and actors, that we have to be willing to stand up for that to be able to change something.
If they cannot control you, they will ruin you. So I started thinking over this weekend, what if we just stopped for 1 second accusing all of these artists of being crazy, and instead we started actually investigating some of the things that they've been saying?
Oh! I gotta feel that experience. I'm coming back. Happy New Year! Woo!
Months ago, I was really struggling mentally and emotionally, and just there was so many things that were adding up, and I wasn't able to enjoy any of the things that I owned.
That stuff's not gonna matter to you.
None of the actual things did anything because I was so hurt and I was so confused and I was so sick and there was all these things and I was like, I can't, there's like, you just can't, like you said, you can't enjoy the actual physical, tangible, like things that money offers, right? Like, it really had to come from within. So that's I guess our perspective.
Together, the two women expanded the conversation to the cultural reckoning that was beginning steadily. Candace Owens raised her voice passionately. This isn't just about Sean Combs being finished. This is about a broken culture that glorified him while ignoring the damage he caused. It's about an entire system that hands unchecked power to men like him and punishes the very kids who get trapped. Megyn Kelly drove the point home firmly. This is why Justin Bieber's confession matters so much. It's not just his story. It's a spotlight shining on an industry that thrives on silence. And now that silence is broken, we have a responsibility to keep it broken. Because if we let this fade away, if we let people sweep it under the rug, then another Justin Bieber will go through the same nightmare. The impact of their words rippled across social media rapidly. Clips of Candace calling out celebrity enablers and Megyn exposing media hypocrisy spread like wildfire instantly. Hashtags trended worldwide, demanding accountability, not just from Diddy, but from the entire machine that protected him, broadly. Fans rallied behind Bieber, sharing old interviews and performances with new understanding, seeing not a spoiled pop star, but a teenager under unbearable pressure, clearly. Candace ended one segment with a fiery line that went viral, powerfully. Diddy didn't just hurt Justin Bieber. He exposed how rotten the entire entertainment system is. If we don't burn that system down and rebuild it, this will happen again. Megyn added the final strike strongly. Diddy's empire was built on silence. And now that silence has been shattered, there's no going back.